So I bundled up and went out to the woods to go deer hunting and came back with a poem and this book. And when you're out in a deer blind, you've got a lot of time to watch the world and think about things. So I use vintage buttons and lace and all kinds of things to tell the woodland story in this squishy, chunkylicious book. Chunky, squishalicious? It was so much fun to put together with found items and vintage items, bark from trees and sticks and altered papers and altered fabrics. I've got this antique book spine in here on American history I thought was kind of cool because trees tell history. The book is full of flaps and flips and all kinds of fun secrets and things to explore, like this tree cavity. If you look inside, you'll find a little nest. And chickadees like to line their nests with feathers and hairs and all kinds of fine grasses. This mossy stump, which I love stumps. It's kind of a cradle of life, holding mosses and lichens and all kinds of insects and critters things hiding inside. I sculpted this little squirrel and tiny bird just to add some fun to the book. I think big people need toys too. This book was so much fun to make and stitch, and pulling from my boxes of dyed fabrics, antique and vintage linens. The leaves here are from the old book binding. I used my 3D pen to create the little frog. All these memories of that day in the woods as a woodpecker ripping up logs. You don't see them, but you hear them, and then they make themselves known. What's more fun, being in the woods or making the book? I don't know. They're both the same. I gathered the materials and came up with the palette so that it would complement the pages as you open the flaps and the little tucks and things. Here's an old deer antler that I had found on the property. Made a button. Sitting out there, the snow fell and pretty soon covered the ground. Just beautiful. So fresh. And always the twittering bird song. So, here's my note of going into the woods. Another day in the woods. It's always a good day when you go out into the woods. And if you kind of roll it together and tie it up, it does resemble a moss-covered stump. The sun warms you up when you're out there, layered up, thinking of things, letting your thoughts drop into the ground, crunchy snow, the rustling leaves, the lichen-painted trees, mosses, just magical. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. Half the fun of making these books is sharing that magic with others. Taking those memories interpreting them in fabric and paper and sculpture for you to enjoy. Thanks for watching. Go find your story this winter.